Hey guys, it is Tim and James with Tabletop Terrors. This is Mailbag and Devouring, where we answer your questions. Oh, bananas. Have we had a day? We just recorded like 5 of these and the mics were set up wrong. I take full responsibility.
Yeah, but we did this thing where we stopped testing the mics. And that's not completely on you. It's kind of like something I thought of, but like I just let go. Where it's like, usually we check them and stuff, but I rush you. I'm like, oh, are you ready? And then I start it. So kind of both our bads because we also didn't notice it.
Yeah, but, until I'm serious. We've been filming for about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. So, all that said, what question are we answering?
So let's go ahead and do our first question. Our first question is a question that is from someone by the name of Spencer. And Spencer is looking for something beyond just number crunching, and he's looking for collaborative storytelling. So stay tuned because we're going to answer Spencer's very good but interesting question.
So Spencer's having trouble finding a local group.
Yes.
Which is something that honestly I'm not even sure that I could do. Not that there aren't people out there locally.
Yeah.
But I would just have trouble putting a group of random people together. If I didn't have you and I didn't have Cassie, who obviously also lives near me.
Sure.
If it was just me and I had to put a group together, I just wouldn't. I would be sad and I would give up playing RPGs.
Dude, and here's the thing. I want to read his question, but first, here's the thing. It's funny to me about gaming groups. I feel like a lot of people settle. And these are people you wouldn't watch movies with them.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do any other activity with them. So why are you thinking that a game that's going to take 4 hours and is one of the most inherently naked places in you is being creative and bearing your soul is going to be fun?
With these people that you're like, man, get out of my house. We're done gaming.
Yeah. Why would you want to stick your tallywhacker in that fan? So, to quote...
Tallywhacker is another word for hand,
yes.
By the way. That's a Florida thing.
To quote Teddy Roosevelt. So the question... So here's the question. He basically said, he's finding a bunch of power players. He's like, am I doomed to starting my own group of 100% new players and molding them up? Or is there a way that I can find people who are more interested in... the way I game. This was before Mailbag and Devouring. It was kind of when Mailbag and Devouring was in its genesis. In fact, this question, along with 4 others we received right around the same time, James and I kind of thought, well, let's go ahead and take these and start a segment because we're getting more questions regularly. And instead of just answering one person in a Facebook message, let's answer these people live.
And they seem like questions that are not like, hey, what's 2 plus 2? And we're like, oh, it's 4.
Right.
It's like, this is probably information that somebody out there might benefit from. So let's just answer it publicly. Spencer will get an answer, but if you're in this same predicament, you will also potentially get your same answer.
Exactly. And so, all of that to say, I replied before, we were going to record this video with a quick message saying, hey, join the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group. I sent that along, and he said, well, no, and that's cool. He's like, but I'm desperate for a game. I've only ever played in person, and playing through Skype or Roll20 or Facebook seems lacking and like a poor substitute. So, here's the thing. You're probably not going to like my answer.
Yeah, but...
I'm going to give you the answer you don't like, and then I'm going to give you the answer that you're looking for. Is that a fair way to do it? Or should I give him the answer he's looking for and then give him the answer he doesn't like?
Which one's longer?
Oh...
Okay.
They're both Magna Cartas.
So they're long and in a different language.
Yes.
So, quick detour. These are exclusive. They're pretty good. They're warm now. We've drank them all.
The Nos Rowdy with Kyle B. Rowdy is a race car driver on the side. No, I'm kidding. That'd be awesome. Kyle B. Rowdy fights Anthony Ice Johnson. He's his arch nemesis. Anyway, this gentleman is a champion racer, and I'm making fun of him. I apologize. So,
but Magna Carta me. What's the answer he doesn't want to hear?
The answer you don't want to hear is playing online might be uncomfortable at first, but you're widening your pool by literally millions of people.
Yes.
You're going to find more like-minded individuals if you can span continents than if you're just happening to pick them up locally. And I'm sorry, it's just a game of odds.
Yeah, like, honestly, and this is maybe a little bit of a weird place to go with it, but it's just like people believe that there's a soulmate out there for them. And I'm like, yeah, but if you just stay in your hometown and don't ever talk to girls, how do you expect to find in billions of people this person? I'm like, what are the odds that people that want to play the same RPG in the same way as you live down the street?
Right.
It happens.
It does
There
happen.
are groups, and obviously people have gamed for years. But imagine being able to more or less cherry pick people that love to play exactly as long as you like to play, exactly the same way that you like to play, as much as you like to play.
Right. Now,
like you said, it widens the pool.
It does. Now, before you, and not you, Spencer, but there's this imaginary person I'm imagining that's angry with me right now, who's saying that I am deriding home groups, and it's like, don't raise your BO-crusted fists at me, sir. Good day, sir. Before you jump to the conclusion that I'm saying don't have a home group, I'm saying this person is asking me, hey, I can't get a home group together. Am I saying online playing should replace your home group? Not at all.
But if you don't have a home group, here's the thing. If it comes down to playing, and it's in a way that you think might be a little odd, which we'll get to,
right,
or not playing at all, maybe try playing. Because I wouldn't play ever if I didn't play online.
Exactly.
And I love playing RPGs. It's like I wouldn't be able to do a thing that I love.
It's like candy wrapped in cake. Girl.
So, now we get to, well, let's talk about playing online. He says, it seems like lacking or a poor substitute. Well, especially for the way that Spencer says he likes to play, this very storytelling way.
Right.
I feel like it works just as well as, or better than, playing at home.
That's right.
The reason I say that is because, first of all, again, the pool is wider. You can find people that like to play exactly the way you like to play. But more than that, if you like this storytelling aspect and you're a little less into the crunchy or the more tactical, like battle grid, which you can do that online as well.
Yeah.
But the way that we play, very theater of the mind, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, playing online is the best way to do it, for me, in my opinion, because, and this is usually what you say, when you play online, you set a date and a time.
Yep.
But you're not waiting for somebody to come to your house. You're not figuring out food.
Nope.
You're not cleaning because you think your house is dirty. Somebody's not, their car's broken. You click on a link and you join a Google Hangout and they are there.
Boom.
And you're there and everybody's there. Now, there are obviously still problems, but there are far fewer problems because you say, hey, we're setting aside this time, show up at this time, leave at this time. There's no cleanup. You click a button, you join, you play, you leave.
That's it.
It's like, that's it. Again, to harp on this even more, those people you play with love playing the way that you play, want to play as long as you want to play, and love telling a story with you, or whatever it is that you like playing, whether it's that or the tactical side.
Right. Now, I feel like I need to qualify myself here, okay? I feel like you need to understand how many times I have slept in my clothes and not showered, eating pizza, playing LAN games.
Yeah.
Okay? I am of the age, I'm of the tender age, where when you wanted a game with other people using a computing device,
You either take turns
or you put them in the same room.
Exactly.
So understand...
We're not talking laptops either.
No, buddy, no. We're talking about my Packard Bell 486 that I had to boot with a disc to get to run Doom. So don't tell me, young man. No. My point is, trust me when I say, I understand the kinship that is forged in the fires of BO. I get it. So again, this is not a replacement for that, but let me explain this. I couldn't have LAN parties as often as I wanted to. Okay? So, in the same way, if I only waited until I could game in person with people that I wanted to game with in person, I would game an eighth of the amount that I game now.
Exactly.
So, with that said, this is coming from a place of someone who understands the kinship and the camaraderie that is born out of playing in person. I'm not saying don't do that. What I am saying is there are a lot of other people who are sitting around and there's rain rolling down their windows and there's the sad song from the 90s of your choice playing as they're looking for someone like you to game with. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So it seems weird. It seems like a poor substitute. Compared to what?
And that's the thing. I will give you that it might seem odd at first, especially because you...
Well, we're not picking on you, Spencer. I don't want it to sound like we're like... But this is a general statement because you are not the first person who has said these things to us.
Because when somebody said, do you want to play a game online? I said, that's weird.
I said the same thing.
I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, that's... And then, like, if you really start to think about it, I'm like, well, what's the alternative? Well, you're like, oh, well, you're playing with people you don't know. I'm like, yeah, but if I... more or less try to find random people in my area and ask them if they want to play a role-playing game with me, I know them less, and now they know where I live.
Yeah, and that's okay. So let's jump to the Magna Carta of the answer of you maybe want to hear. There are a lot of ways to find people locally that might be like looking for a group.
Yeah, people doing the same thing.
Same thing. Local gaming stores, just kind of hanging out there.
Hanging out there, and a lot of times they have tabletop role-playing events. Probably the best example is Pathfinder Explorers League, I think it's called, and the D&D...
Adventurers League.
Adventurers League. I don't know if those are the names, but there are these things where retail stores have sort of like pre-made things that they're sent, and somebody runs them. And
Pathfinders, and the Dungeons & Dragon Dungeoners.
So you basically, you look up your local game store's event guide. You look at it, you say, oh, there's D&D this night, there's Pathfinder that night, there's whatever, whatever game. It doesn't really matter what game people are playing, but if you show up, there's bound to be 4 to 6 like-minded people there, and you can potentially, start scoping them out for your local, your group, or become a part of their already home group. Same thing.
Sure.
There.
The other thing is, and I've never used this, but I see it a lot. There's a subreddit. There's a website called Reddit. I won't go into exactly what all that is, but check it out. There's a subreddit or a subdivision of this website called LFG, Looking for Group. And if I'm not mistaken, it's for online games as well as in-person games.
Yeah, I believe it's for both.
So there's a network of people, and you can post anonymously through Reddit, kind of putting some feelers out maybe locally for yourself. So...
something else sort of like that is Craigslist. Same deal. Where you just throw it out there, and you hope for the best, more or less.
Yeah. And so again, the amount of time that you invest in the local part of it could totally pay off for you, and it could work awesomely. In my I did it. Oh, and I dropped my phone. I'm just a mess. I went back to diapers. I don't know what that means. I just feel like... Anyway, the thing is that amount of time that you're sowing into that, it could pay off and it might not. I think you can expedite the process by looking online. Another good thing is, in the groups that I'm going to mention, you can watch other people play. That is the number one way to see if you share similar play styles.
Exactly. You can scope these people. You can see exactly how they like to play and the way they play. And
the way they game master, the way they run their characters. But the 3 groups that you need to check out are... the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group, like I was talking about. Just throw it out there. Throw up a post, and it doesn't have to be an interest post. It can just be, hey. You can even cut and paste the question you asked us. This is my problem. This is what's going on. What do I do? People will gravitate toward that and answer you. Super good group. The second place you need to post is the Tabletop RPG one-shot group. Super small commitment level. Playing in a one-shot or kind of like a single-serving game of role-playing is also a very non-committal, hey, let me just spend 4 hours seeing if these folks are, the kind of people I want to play with.
Exactly. And to broaden that even a little more, I usually do that to see if a game is a game I like. Now that I already play online, it's also a good way to just play in general. To be like, I want to give Pathfinder a shot. Let's find a Pathfinder beginner game someone's running. I'm going to do that.
Exactly. The final place is the RPG Brigade. The RPG Brigade is another great community full of helpful people. They have an event coming up very soon called BrigadeCon. You can check it out on brigadecon.org. There are going to be games that you can watch and even play in, and you might find your next gaming group through BrigadeCon.
Exactly.
So those are the 3 groups that I would try out. As far as playing online being a poor substitute, it's not the same thing. But I feel like, for me, It's a very concentrated burst
Yeah.
with the parts that I love about tabletop RPGs.
Yeah, it will never replace playing in person, but it is... I don't think it's any worse. I would say that it's difficult to compare.
It's different.
Because it is different, but it's still playing role-playing games. And I mean, that's enough for me.
And again, that's why I like to use the analogy, not even the analogy, but the exact same circumstance of playing a LAN party is awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to wait to play in a LAN party.
When I can just throw out a message and say, hey guys, who's playing Overwatch?
Playing
tonight?
Overwatch. Let's jump on TeamSpeak.
Let's jump in. We talk, and it's not the same.
It'll
not
never
the
be the same.
But you can still sit there and play a couple of matches, hang out with your buddies, play the game, and have fun.
It's a different kind of good. It's not supposed to be a substitute.
Exactly.
So
more than anything, after saying all of that, please give it a try. Continue looking for a group near you. Continue, trying to find a group that does the things you like to do. But I would stress to anybody out there that thinks that playing online would be weird or uncomfortable, that you're not wrong in that feeling. I felt the same way.
Yeah.
And it may not be for you, but please prove that one way or the other.
Yep.
Jump in a game, see if you like it. I really think it's worth your time.
It is. So we'll see you in the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group. And that's not just to Spencer. That's to everybody. In the meantime, be sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you can see my fat face say things like this next to James's skinny face with a beardy. If you have a question for Mailbag and Devouring, email RowdyNos, that's RWODYNOS, at tabletopterrors.com.
RWODY, huh? That's not how you spell rowdy, sweetheart.
ROWDY. Uh-oh. I do. Wow, D. It was the French spelling.
Rowody.
So email Wookie Pizza.
What do they really email?
Well, here's the good news. Here's why I'm saying this, and I'm going to do a different one every time. We have what's called a catch-all setup. So you can email anything at tabletopterrors.com, and it will literally come to us.
Tim's a Dumbo at tabletopterrors.com.
I can't
Wookie
wait.
Pizza at tabletopterrors.com.
So email Wookie Pizza or RowdyNos at tabletopterrors.com. Make sure that the subject line, there is no catch-all. You have to make sure the subject line says mailbag, or we won't know exactly what it is, or that you want us to answer this on air. Anyway, it's been a blast. There'll be more of these. You okay, baby boy?
No, man.
James is having a stroke, so until next time, may the side of his face not go dead, and your dice roll high.